Yo guys, it's Slyroh. You already know this. Today we're back playing some more Danganronpa 2, and we are here at one of my favorite parts of the game, which is the beginning of the class trial, where I'm always very optimistic before the game calls me stupid because I end up, messing something up in the middle of the class trial. And this chapter has already been trying to break my brain with all of its funhouse shenanigans and the final dead room and just all the information that they've thrown on top of me. So before we go into the class trial, I am going to do a few things. First thing that I do want to do is I want to go and turn in my hope fragments and get a skill of some sort. I do have 5, so I might just see, what does this do? Increase the time limit for each phase. Time isn't usually a problem. I usually end up running out of health before I run out of time whenever I do struggle. Decreases delay between firing truth bullets. That one could be alright. Increases damage to the opponent when a statement is destroyed. Which is good for the panic talk action at the end. That's actually not that bad. I might try and get that one. Let's just look at these ones. Alright, these are the logic dive ones. Do I need either of these? Increase the influence gauge. And then increase the focus gauge. I mean, both are decent. Is this the one that's like my health? Because if so, I do want that for those times during like the Hangman's Gambit where I like really start messing up. I think I might actually do this one. I don't want to like spend too much time because I'm going to go through some wild theories that I've had during the days leading up to the start of this recording. I've definitely been thinking about this class trial and the ways that I think it could go. And so I will be going through these characters and saying what I think could happen. Before I do that, I'm going to set that skill before I forget. So let's go ahead and just add that in. Everything else should already be added on, and it is. So now I'm just going to do one kind of quick look through the truth bullets just to make sure I don't forget anything, because I don't know where this case is going to start. So as always, we got Mechamaru here with his body inside the funhouse. The head is severely damaged and beyond repair, and that's the cause of death. We have the wire that is wrapped around the body and left leg, and the tip of the wire tied into a loop. That's something that I probably shouldn't forget. I assume it's going to be important in some way, shape, or form at some point. A button on the back of Nekamaru's neck. When this button is pressed, all of Nekamaru's functions cease. Alright, that's the sleep mode button. We got the oil on the floor, that's basically like blood. We have the pillar that's tipped over with the blood. I'm going to just refer to it as blood. On the end of the pillar there, but it's really heavy that nobody could like lift it up and like hit him with it. We have this new looking hammer. I actually forgot about this. I don't exactly know what that could be from. We have a chain wrapped around the door. And then the killer was able to enter the tower from Strawberry Hall. There's definitely going to be some nonsense with, like, how the funhouse is set up. I think I was kind of vaguely explaining last time that, I think that, like, instead of the elevator moving, maybe the entire, like, funhouse is, like, rotating around. And where I don't think that's exactly right, I do think it's something to that effect. The only problem with that is if the entire funhouse is moving, how would nobody feel the entire funhouse moving? So I don't entirely know how that's working out. We have Akane hearing the rumbling noise at around 5:30 a.m., We have the pillar fragments that are underneath Nekamaru's body, and no fragments on top of his body. Oh, okay, that's actually good to remember. My leading theory going in was that the pillar, like, fell on top of Nekamaru, and then that's how he died. So this actually probably changes that. We have Fuyuhiko seeing Nekamaru walk towards the first floor at 5 a.m., and then we have at 5:30 a.m. the alarm clock going off. And then Fuyuhiko just happened to be there, and then Kazuichi and Gundam rushed in, and Nagito did not hear anything. We have the contact elevator that no longer worked, and it was broken at the Grape House side. So the last person to use it would have arrived at Grape House. We have the Strawberry Hall's button that was also broken. We have Nagito's sudden appearance. That was after the final dead room, and somehow he was able to show up, and I don't exactly know how. That's going to be something that's going to trip me up. I know that for sure. We have Kazuichi's account about the compass needle spinning 180 degrees while it was inside the contact elevator, which is interesting. We have Nekamaru's alarm timer. Clock alarms was stopped at around 7:30 a.m., and the alarm was set to 7:30 as well. Okay, we have, so he probably died at 7:30. So all of these, like, 5 o'clock and 5:30 things were probably 2 hours off, honestly. We have the radio clock, basically saying that this is the time that is accurate, not any other clock. We have this broken doorknob, that was under the tipped-over pillar. Okay. Strange feeling in tower. Regardless of whether you enter the tower from Grape Hall or Strawberry Hall, the placement of Nekomaru's body, the tipped-over pillow, the oil stains, and even the disassembled parts Kazuichi arranged look exactly the same. That is very strange, and I'm not sure how that's going to work. That is definitely going to trip me up. All right, so I've gone through those one more time, and hopefully I just remember those, for whichever details start going out. So I thought it would be fun for this trial specifically. I'm going to go over a couple theories that I've had, and I'm basically going to talk about who could have possibly done this, and essentially go from least likely to most likely. So I think the least likely people to have done this, first off, is Gundam. I don't think Gundam did this at all, and I just don't see why he would, how he would, any of that. There would have to be a really big revelation about Gundam inside the class trial for it to make sense that he did this crime. I don't know, I just don't get it. Akane is in, like, the same tier as Gundam, where I thought Akane could be. There was a couple theories that swirled around where she could have done it and then just, like, been the traitor. Maybe she has some sort of split personality where, like, she doesn't remember that she did the killing. There's a lot of weird things, but just her actions after the fact of really seeming to be, like, vengeful towards like, finding out who killed Nekomaru, it just doesn't really make sense. I think if Akane's the killer, her actions just don't make sense. Unless she's the traitor, but I'm becoming more and more convinced that the traitor isn't actually going to take part in this place, that might be a big reveal for Chapter 5. I don't know. In similar, but, like, slightly more likely tier, I'm going to put Chiaki and Sonia. I think both of them, it doesn't make all that much sense for them to be the killer. However, Chiaki specifically feels like she's become a lot more involved in the class trials and the games and things like that. She's become a lot more involved that I feel like there's something more to her, or there's some sort of big reveal, or some big thing she's going to have, and I just don't know if this class trial is what that would lead up to. I don't know that makes sense for me. Sonia, I don't know, she was acting really crazy and deranged, like she was really hungry, and I just don't know that if she was thinking in a sound mind to commit a crime like this, and it just doesn't really make sense. Also, there's the whole thing of it looking like it had to be one of the girls, and I just don't think that's the case. I don't think one of the girls did this. So some plausible theories that I have that I do want to talk about. We'll talk about Fuyuhiko first, because he is conveniently in the place of, like, a lot of these things, but it's weird that he, like, admitted it. Like, he saw Nekomaru walking down. He was there when the alarm clock went off. He knows a lot of stuff, and, like, theoretically, he's in place to have done this crime. I just don't know if he did. It wouldn't be, like, the craziest thing in the world, but I just don't really see it being the case, because he's being really forthcoming about, like, where he was at all times. And I think if he was trying to get away with the crime, he wouldn't have done it. Also, just this Fuyuhiko-Akane relationship, in terms of Fuyuhiko losing somebody that was, like, close to him, that, like, tried to you know, I forget how to like explain exactly their sort of relationship, and you know, how he, like, lost Peko, but then Akane, like, lost Nekomaru, but then Nekomaru was able to come back. There could be an angle of, like, Fuyuhiko, like, kills him out of jealousy, like, why does he get to come back and Peko can't come back? But I don't know if I really see his character going that way. That seems something, like, past Fuyuhiko would have maybe done, and current Fuyuhiko doesn't really seem like that would be something that he'd be thinking about, but I don't know. I want to bring up the fact that the game is, I feel like they might try and get me to think that Hajime did this, and I do want to throw out a crazy possibility. I don't think that he did. However, obviously Nagito threw out, like, a mystery novel where, like, the main character was, like, the killer or something like that, and you just left the reader in the dark. And Hajime was fighting a lot with being unconscious, where he was unconscious and he woke back up and then was, like, unconscious again. And, you know, it could be. Also, I think that final free time that I had, I think Nekomaru was the only one that would even hang out with me. That could be wrong. I know I only asked, like, 2 other people to hang out. But that could be the game's way of being like, oh, Hajime interacted with Nekomaru last, and then he was, you know, randomly unconscious. And that could actually be Hajime, like, setting up and doing a crime. And now there's precedence that if Hajime is the killer, we can just be Nagito as the main character for the rest of the game. I'm not saying it's probable. I am saying it's possible, and that would be the craziest thing ever, but I don't think so. I think it's actually more likely that Nagito may have done this, and there's a couple reasons for this. He wasn't around when the alarm clock was going off. He was elsewhere. He seems to know... I mean, he did learn a lot from like the final Dead Room about going in between places. But I also think that if Nagito's main thing is, like, hope and, like, you know, finding whatever's ultimate hope, he might be willing to sacrifice himself to let everybody else get out. Because nobody was going to get out of this funhouse unless a killing happened. And Nagito could have tried to take one for the team and be like, I'll commit a killing, and I'll be the one to sacrifice myself so the hope of all the ultimates can prosper and move forward. That could also be a reason why he went to the final Dead Room, just to try and get them as much information as possible, so that way he leaves everybody with as much hope as possible. That could explain his attitude change, where maybe he's trying to be like as guilty as possible so he gets found out. I don't really know. I don't think it's likely, but he does have the reasoning there for it. And then, as I've mentioned before, I do think Kazuichi is the most likely, just because he was around for a lot of the explanations as to how Nekomaru's functions work. He is a mechanic. He is a little crazy and could have gotten unhinged by being hungry. I do think that it makes sense a lot. There's also a solid chance that Nekomaru felt guilty about being able to come back when he should have died, maybe thought that his presence was awkward and could have committed a suicide. There's a chance that all these things are happening. I have talked for so long, but I just wanted to get all of my theories out there. But it is finally time to start the class trial. So sorry for the very long intro to this, but I find it very necessary, and I like getting all my thoughts out there. So let's go ahead and start this thing. I am so scared as to what's going to happen.
Begin with a simple explanation of the class trial.
Get the explanation as we always do.
In the class trial, you will present your arguments for who the killer is and vote for who done it.
Yep. Oh, I can see Mikan has more like a plus sign, like a nurse, instead of like an X. I am now sort of convinced that the Ibuki X might be like drumsticks or something.
If you vote correctly, then only the blackened will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong person...
It does look like Mahiru and Hiyoko have just like normal X's though, so they're not special.
Punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will earn the right to leave this island. I'm sure you guys are starving by now, but let's get revved up and raring to go.
Nah, we ate some bread and water. We're all good now.
Whoever survives will be treated to a fancy lunch. Guess what? Rabbit curry is on the menu.
Yo, what if Monami committed the crime? Is she a part of this? Oh no, not really. That's, well, I guess you'll have to wait and find out.
I'm here today because Coach Nekomaru risked his life to protect me.
See what I mean? Like, she's all on board with this. There's no way that she could have done this.
I'm gonna be the one who avenges him. I'll definitely find out who the killer is. I'm definitely not tempted.
Akane! No!
Akane, you seem to have an impressive amount of drool flowing from your mouth.
Hey, why don't we try going over the incident?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where we're going to start, so let's see where we're going to start with this.
We weren't able to leave Strawberry House, so I want to make sure we get a detailed understanding.
Mm-hmm.
I discovered Nekomaru's body a little before 7 a.m.
Okay, and I am going to assume that that's not the case. I don't know how much time went by until we went down, but I think there's a 2-hour time difference, so this is actually probably more around before 8 or 9 a.m.
I headed over to Grape Tower for Monokuma Taichi and found the body there.
Yeah, wait, if it's a 2-hour time difference, then I think it would be like more like 9 a.m. if her clock said 7. Okay.
Hajime and Chiaki were also with me.
Yeah, and Sonia, you were trying to eat me.
Hajime was with Miss Sonia and Chiaki that early in the morning?
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
Don't tell me you three were together since last night!
No.
Imbecile! I am not some woman with flexible legs.
That's one way to say it, I guess.
Of course you're not. You're much classier than that.
With legs like those, I could probably do the splits real easy.
I don't...
We just happened to run
I'm not sure if that's what exactly they were talking about.
We went to the tower together.
And then, the three of us discovered Nekomaru's body.
Yeah, that is correct.
The body discovery announcement was made soon after. Akane heard that and rushed over.
Yeah?
We heard the body discovery announcement too, from Strawberry House, obviously. As I recall, we found out the elevator was out of order, which left us stuck.
I feel like I'm so suspicious of, like, every person here, more so than I am normally. Maybe that's because I don't feel like I have a great working theory as to how the crime was committed, but,
We
like,
decided to go to the tower for the time being and headed for Strawberry Hall.
I just can't trust any word that comes out of almost anybody's mouth.
But someone even broke Strawberry Hall's door button. We couldn't go anywhere because of that.
Thinking we should at least find some method to communicate, we set our sights on the lounge telephone.
Yeah, you were probably calling us for a while.
Forget these boring intros. Let's talk about the killer.
Okay, and who is it, Akane?
Anyway, it's definitely someone from Strawberry House.
That's weird. I think you're right, but, like, how did you do that?
What do you mean, definitely?
There's no way a chick would kill someone so cruelly. It must be one of you, Strawberry House.
I mean, that's not really valid reasoning. That's going to hold up in court.
One of you better hurry up and confess, or I'll break all of you in half.
Yeah, also, Akane, you would 100% do a crime like that.
You're the cruelest one here.
Now, enough with the lovers' quarrel. We need to think about this seriously.
Yes.
We don't have the luxury of discussing irrelevant things. The incident this time has many questions.
It really does.
The incident notwithstanding, I also have many questions.
Then let's start with something even Miss Sonia can understand. The weapon.
What is the weapon? Oh. Nagito's in like, smug mode.
Well, the weapon is obvious, right?
Is it?
What the heck, you guys? The weapon. You can totally tell just by looking.
Is he going to say the pillar, and then we're going to have to refute that with the fragments under the body? You can tell what the weapon is just by looking at it? It wouldn't be much of a mystery if that were true. The only thing in the crime scene that looked like a weapon was probably... Alright, so either the hammer or the pillar. Wire, tipped over pillar. Oh, the hammer isn't even one. So it's probably going to be... Alright, there is tipped over pillar and the pillar fragments.
I guess we should figure out the weapon first.
Yeah.
The weapon was right there at the scene of the crime.
4, tipped over pillar.
No, the hammer.
Pillar fragments, I
Killer
think.
used that hammer.
I just want to see.
Beat the crap out of him.
It was unexpected as
I don't think I have anything to refute that one.
That's right. It was a surprise beating.
Surprise
So
beating?
it's decided.
So it is one of those two things. Interesting. The hammer in the tower was the weapon. Like you said, it looks like that's the case, but... broken doorknob, wire... Oh, surprise...
The
Wait.
weapon was right there at the scene of the crime.
Surprise beating wire. That doesn't make sense.
No, the hammer.
Oil on the floor.
The
Tipped
killer
over
used
pillar.
that hammer and beat the crap out of him.
Should I try the tipped over pillar on this one?
unexpected, I suppose that is possible.
That's right. It was a surprise beating.
I don't have anything
It's decided.
to agree with surprise beating, I don't think. The hammer in the tower was the weapon. Like he said. It looks like that's the case, but... So let's try the tipped over pillar. Maybe it is as simple as the pillar is the weapon, not the
It
hammer.
was right there at the scene of the crime.
That pillar, huh?
Yeah.
No, the hammer. The killer used that hammer and beat the crap out of him.
No, that's not it. Okay. How they beat the crap out of Nekomaru.
Damn it.
Let's see. New looking hammer. Oh, I guess, I didn't even see the hammer was an
It
option.
was right there at the scene of the crime.
That pillar.
Maybe the fact that it's new looking. Let me see.
The killer used that hammer and beat the crap out of him.
There we go. I didn't even see that as an option. That's why I was stuck. I didn't even see the hammer as an option.
No, I can't accept that hammer was the murderer.
Yeah, it looks like it wasn't used, like, at all.
Why not? Why can't you accept it?
A lot of oil was flowing from Nekomaru's body, just like human blood, right? the hammer was used to beat Nekomaru, you'd expect some oil to be on it at least.
Yeah, and there wasn't.
But that hammer was clean. So that's why you can't accept that it's the murder weapon.
It's so, like, not thought out. Why would you just put, like, a brand new looking hammer there? Like, why not smash it against, like, the pillar? Why not, like, dip it in a pool of blood? Something.
Yeah, but the killer might have wiped off the oil later.
Why?
Yeah, why? And not anywhere else.
Well, obviously, to make the hammer look like it's not the murder weapon.
Uh-huh.
Then why bother cleaning the oil? If they didn't want it to look suspicious, they would have discarded the hammer.
Discarding the hammer is probably a little harder to do than just wiping off oil on it, though, to be fair.
You're pretty insightful, baby gangsta.
Baby Gangsta?
Baby gangster? Me?
Yeah, that's your rap name now.
Just so y'all know, I was trying to test you guys.
I don't trust Kazuichi, man. Like, he's being so weird.
I thought, maybe you guys mistook the hammer for the weapon or something.
Seems that was a waste of time.
It really was.
Then what was the real weapon used to murder Nekomaru?
That's the problem. There wasn't anything else at the crime scene that looked like a potential weapon.
I mean, the pillar looks like a potential weapon, but, like, I don't understand the fragments under the body.
Then, how about we look at it from a different angle?
Unless the wire... I don't know how far up the wire went. It was just around the leg and the midsection, right? Like, the wire didn't, like, decapitate him or anything, right?
It doesn't have oil on it. It's not the weapon. So whatever has oil on it must be the weapon.
Alright, so now we're gonna figure out this pillar thing. The actual weapon has oil on it, but something at the crime scene that had oil on it. If it's something at the crime scene that had oil on it... Oh, right. This is the only one.
I see.
But I feel like this isn't the actual right answer. Obviously the right choice here, but...
Then that pillar is the weapon. Coach
Hmm.
Nekomaru got clobbered with that pillar.
Yeah, but we know that you can't just, like, pick it up and have that happen.
Nobody could withstand a blow from that pillar. Even if you used 100% of your muscle strength, it would be impossible to wield it as a weapon.
Because my working theory was that Nekomaru got tied up or something like that, and, like, his sleep timer was, like, set to off or whatever, or, like, sleep mode was activated, and then, like, an alarm was set so that he woke up. Well, no, because then wouldn't that alarm have made noise like it did the other time? Maybe sleep mode went off, tied him up, sleep mode came on, and then, like, he woke up, tried to get out, and then knocked the pillar over onto himself, is what I thought. Maybe that is still possible, and then the body was moved afterwards, just to put some fragments under. I don't really know. That's kind of tripping me up a little bit.
Why?
We tried to move it, right?
Yeah, you know this, Akane. It didn't work. It's no use, barely budging. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah, that pillar was pretty freaking heavy. But there's one dude who could have lifted that pillar.
What, Nekomaru?
Huh? Who are you talking about?
Coach Nekomaru's robot body. With that dude's super strength, lifting a pillar would be real easy.
So he lifted the pillar and hit himself with it.
So, he lifted the pillar, and then... did he use it to beat himself?
I love that he basically just repeated what I said in, like, the same tone.
You mean Nekomaru killed himself?
Don't be stupid. He ain't the type to commit suicide.
I'm not convinced of that yet, but you know, we'll see.
Then even if Nekomaru could have lifted that pillar, that's nothing to do with the case at all.
How would he lift the pillar if he was tied up with the wire?
Well, I guess you're right.
What the heck?
But it does bother me a little. That word, suicide. By the way, the fourth murder of the killing school life was apparently ruled a suicide. Huh? No, that shouldn't matter. There's no way Nekomaru would commit
But
suicide.
that's a problem. If it's not the pillar, then there's no other weapon we can think of.
There may be a way to use the pillar as a weapon without lifting it.
Uh-huh.
Huh? For real?
Okay, now we're getting to this part.
Yes, for real.
I see. So my gut was right after all.
Yeah.
It's up to you, Sonia. Prove that pillar was the murder weapon.
Understood. Then I shall give it my all. Sonia, here I go!
Alright, what do you got? Alright. Are we gonna have something to agree with Sonia or not? We have the wire, good night button, chain, pillar fragments. Is this where we're gonna refute?
There's no need to lift that pillar.
Oh. Pillar fragments.
Beating him with it is beyond a dream.
Yup.
What about tipping the pillar over?
It's possible. Is that the...
Aimed right for his head and bullseye.
Uh-huh.
Even I could probably tip it over.
You think? Do it.
Considering the pillar's weight,
Uh-huh.
it probably exerted a ton of force.
Yeah.
Sonya, you go, girl.
Oh, maybe it is the first one.
Excited.
I really think these pillar fragments have to refute the point. The killer murdered Nekomaru by tipping over that pillar? Is that really it? Yeah, okay.
No need to lift that
It must be the first one. Oops. Oh no, stop it! That was such a waste of why I did that.
Beating him with it is beyond a dream.
What about tipping the pillar over?
There we go.
No, that's wrong.
I didn't think it would be the first one. I always wait for like something to be more like clear-cut before going for it right away.
Crushed by the pillar, and there should have been fragments on top of his body.
And there weren't. So this is the part where I get tripped up because I don't really know what the answer is past this. I just know that the pillar isn't the actual answer.
The pillar fragments were scattered beneath Nekomaru's body, but there weren't any on top of his body.
Yeah. Unless the pillar knocked over, hit him, and then he was able to get up, and then... I don't know. That doesn't make sense with the oil spills.
If the pillar had been tipped over and crushed it, the fragments should have been on top of his body instead.
I briefly considered that too, but it's probably not what happened. I see. That was entirely my bad.
Yeah, that was definitely something I thought of.
If they didn't tip it over, then how did the killer murder Nekomaru with that pillar?
How much longer are you gonna focus on the pillar? Just let it go already.
But then why is there oil on the pillar?
There's no way I can let it go. I'm positive that Nekomaru was killed by that pillar.
Why are you so certain about that?
I have a feeling.
Huh.
A feeling, huh? That's just your instincts.
But we can't say for sure that that instinct is wrong, can we?
That's true. I haven't been keeping a good track record on how good Akane's instincts are, but I feel like she can generally get in the right ballpark, but she's not good with ironing out the details. I think? Huh?
There's another way to use that pillar to kill. You guys just haven't noticed it.
You're right, I haven't.
Is that true?
Then I shall ask you, what way is that?
You guys, the same as usual.
Oh, no.
You're unable to clear a path to the future with your own powers. So you just stand there and falter.
I don't think Nagito has any hope, that we have hope.
What a waste of talent. And you all intend to fight the Future Foundation? You make me laugh.
What did you say?
Regardless, it's not like I want to die with the rest of you.
Oh,
So I guess I should lend a hand.
so he doesn't want to die.
Hey, Nagito, what the hell happened to you?
That's a great question.
How come you're not talking like a lunatic anymore?
I've learned a valuable lesson. Ignorance is by far the greatest shame.
Huh.
What do you mean?
Who cares? Just tell us how the pillar was used
I mean,
to kill.
I care, but hopefully that gets expanded on a little bit more as the trial goes on.
Well, first of all, the pillar itself is not enough.
Okay.
But when combined with a specific item, there's a way it could be possible.
A specific item?
Of course, the ultimate weapon.
Do you know what the ultimate weapon is?
Ultimate weapon?
Isn't that the thing you get when you clear the final dead room?
So, Nagito knows what the ultimate weapon is?
Of course I know. But I'm pretty sure everyone else has seen it, you know?
Oh no, is there something in front of my face this whole time and I never noticed it?
We've seen it?
That's right. You've seen it clearly.
Gundam?
Because I, the one who has claimed dominion over
Nah.
evil, am the ultimate weapon.
Alright, well if the ultimate weapon killed Nekomaru, you probably shouldn't be out here claiming that you're the ultimate weapon.
I am he who cuts the insolent catalyst, which flows out from the chaos with the sword of victory. It's only fitting that I deserve to
I don't know what that means.
be the ultimate weapon.
Those words were highlighted, but I don't know what they're referencing.
You are far greater than the ultimate weapon, since you wield your 4 dark devas of destruction.
Sonya knows how to push like all of Gundam's buttons. It's so good.
I don't know why, but I'm not liking it.
I know why.
Cut the bullshit and say it clearly. What is the ultimate weapon?